Living a good autistic life in these particular times with COVID-19 can be quite difficult, but I'm going to share with you some of the ideas that have helped me. First, I'm going to read you this poem because we're definitely in times of transition. So, autism is, I like it here, please do let me stay. Autism is, I know it here, please don't take me away. If and when I leave this place to travel to another space, I need to know it right away. I need to know that I'm okay. Transition is so fleeting, it leaves not time to stay. Will I have time to settle, or will I be whisked away? I know that change can happen. I know it can take time, but how can I know what this will mean? What this will mean for mine? Transition is about moving to where or what, one asks. This is my very question, from present or the past. Time for me is all the same, I know not of its future. I only know I trust in now, tomorrow can come, I just need to know how. So when I was thinking about what to put into this short video, the two questions I was asked were, what are my passions and how am I spending my time during this COVID-19 era? So my passions, at least outside, are things like bird watching and bird listening. I love listening to the birds. I tried to video them this morning just to capture their morning music as we were all waking up. Pretty special. I love feeding the magpies that come to our deck. I love riding my electric bicycle along the track near my home, and also to the botanic gardens where I get to see the bat colonies, which I also love. Those outdoor things I can only do on my own, and they are things that I love. But I have some inside hobbies too. I love pets, especially our cat Queenie. I love writing and researching, listening, especially music and songs by Olivia Newton-John, various groups from the 60s, like Roy Orbison. I know he's not a group, but I love his music and music from the Hollies, the Monkees, various other groups. I love reading, but I can't read books usually. I read on my Kindle or on the Kindle app on my phone. And currently I'm absolutely passionate about the Outlander series, the Lord John novels that kind of come from that series. And those are books written by Diana Gabaldon, and I also love the Vampire Detective series, which I'm currently reading. I love movies and TV. If the TV's on, it's really hard to hear anything that anybody else is saying, actually. And, you know, I have to admit, left to my own devices, I just have it on all the time. I'm trying really hard not to do that, but I do love it. Science fiction, drama, various TV shows, I love. And as for how am I spending my time just now, because I can't travel across the borders to the places I would love to go, I'm passionate about not just writing but also lecturing and presenting on the things I write, but can't go across the borders between the states or out of the country because they're closed. So at first, the reality of the seriousness of this situation just absolutely took me over. As you know, probably, if you're autistic, what we're focused on, what we attend to, what we notice tends to capture the whole of us. So if I'm taken up with anxiety and fear, I'm not very good at noticing anything else. So telling me just to calm down or not to worry, those are stupid things to say because that won't help. So after I kind of took on that for a while, that anxiety, that fear, I told myself, okay, the next thing really I need to do is just accept this because it's not going to change. I have to accept it for now. And then the third thing was really I needed to find a way to create a new normal for me because the one that I was used to is not available at the moment. And I've got to find what works for me during this time. And each of us needs to find that because it's different, isn't it, for everybody? So, like everybody else, I'm at home. I'm not really allowed outside unless I can go for some exercise, go to the shop to get some groceries, go for a medical appointment, as long as it's, one that's needed for me to be outside. Otherwise, I can access that through telehealth over my computer. And without the motivation to get up, to get ready for work, well, I don't have any motivation, or I didn't have any motivation. So I just stayed in my PJs, scrolled through the internet and watched Netflix because all my motivation, the reasons for doing something, had left. I just didn't have any drawing towards something. So I had to start thinking about how do I find what motivates me. So having decided, okay, I have to create a new normal for me, that meant building a new daily routine that was different from my old one. I had to construct an outline of my day, which started with a time to wake up, a time to have my coffee, a shower, get dressed, and think about the things that I could be doing. And I made myself a sort of timetable, really. Now, I'm not the best at sticking to timetables. I write lists all the time. It doesn't mean I actually follow through with them. So I needed to find something that would help me want to follow through with those things that I needed to do. So the first thing I needed was really to refocus my attention, take all of my attention away from things like the virus. I'm really annoyed by that constant, all those blobs that rain on the television screen behind the newsreaders. You just you can't get away from them. So I have to refocus. That meant turning television off for a while. I needed to think about my passions and the things that interest me, because that has to drive us towards wanting to do stuff. So once I noticed what that was, I then had to prioritize, because I've got a few things that drive me forward or help me to move towards doing something. So I had to prioritize those. And then I actually had to do some of those things. Motivation isn't something that comes, I don't know, out of the sky or into our laps somehow. Usually it actually comes after actions. So I had to find what interests me, and then I had to sort of structure that into my day and do it. So just to echo that again, waiting to feel or experience some motivation when all that you actually feel is anxiety could mean we wait a very long time. So it's better if we can plan some action that considers our interests and passions, and that can build into motivation. So find, F-I-N-D, could become our motto. Find stands for focus on, interest, and then note what captures our passions, and then we have to action what it is that we're noticing. So outside or inside, doesn't matter. Doing what you love will help support you through this time. So once again, find what captures your interest, what helps you note ways to move yourself forward into doing, and then take the time to build those things into your day. So I get up at 7, I program my day with my coffee and then my shower and getting dressed. And I'm not going off to work outside in my usual activities, but I can work through some of those things that I could be doing at home. That might include chores. It might include doing things like weeding in the garden. It will include, for me, some time for reading, lots of technology, and some walking. And I can set myself a sort of schedule for the week. I move myself through those things, but they need to incorporate my passions and my interest, or they won't happen. So take some time and see what you can find for you. Thank you.